Hello, everyone. It's me. It's your favorite community manager. It's Zebulon. It's Elliot. What up, guys? Here with a very special stream for you all. Gonna put on the desktop audio now, so you should be able to hear the lovely little background ambience of being in Sansar. And I'm very excited for today's topic. I think it's gonna be a really good one. It's been something I've been meaning to do for a while. Subject of today's stream is going back to basics, and I'm starting a new series today called Learning to Build, or just Learn to Build. Hashtag Learn to Build, hashtag Back to Basics. Thrown out there, going to be showing people how to build in Sansar, going right back to the basics. Because when I started this back in April, it was like, okay, I have no idea what I'm going to do it. Sorry, I have no idea what I'm doing. Just going to hit create mode, going to have some fun building stuff in Sansar. And now I feel like I'm at a point where I can actually teach people how to use Sansar. So I really wanted to bring that to the stream and be like, alright, you've never built before, you feel intimidated, everyone's talking at you about .fbx's and weird words you never heard before, it's fine. I've been through it, gonna go back to basics for you. So that's the subject of today's stream. We're gonna be looking at the UI in build mode in Sansar, and we're gonna be buying our first object and plopping it into a scene and seeing how that goes. So that is the plan, and oh dear, I just lost everything. Okay. Trying to watch Twitch chat and Slack and Discord all at the same time, and alt-tabbing between different windows. So let's start by hitting this create button. So preamble for our totally new people. If you're just watching this on Twitch and you've never been into Sansar, go to sansar.com, download it. Here, I can show you it right now. Alt-tab 2. Yeah. Go to Sansar, download Sansar, log in with your account, and then you will be able to see this beautiful world of possibilities in front of you. So, once you've done that, you can hit this red button and you can create a world. Now, recently did a big update. So if you are one of our free users, you can have up to 20 experiences, right? So you can have 20 experiences now without having to pay a dime or a euro. So that's pretty sweet. So you can see a bunch of my creations that I made before in the stream coming up to this. And I'm just going to start by clicking create. I'm going to show you the base template. So it's going to ask me to name it. And I'm going to call this Object.1 Learn to Build. What an ugly file name. And so we've got here our starting content, and these are the default layouts. So you'll see we have a living room set, we have a toy box template, a rooftop template, Highlands, watch party if you want to set up a Twitch stream and have a watch room for watching Twitch or YouTube videos. You can do that with that template really easily. And even experiences I've made can be saved as templates. But I'm just going to go to the base template scene. And I'm going to click create. That's going to create it. And here it is now. So it's not published, so no one can see it. That's nice. And I have a bunch of options like visiting it, going into the publishing options. But I'm going to click the little I was about to say arrow, but it's a little pencil and a ruler. Ain't that nice? I'm going to edit the scene. I'm going to do that. And here I am in edit mode. So, how did I just do any of that? Bad tutorial stream. I did things without telling you how to do them. So let's take a look at the camera controls. I'm using the WASD keys. So W to move forward, S to move back, A to strafe left, D to strafe right. And then if I right click with the mouse button and drag, I can drag my field of view. Now you can do this in VR as well, and it's considerably harder. Mostly because any number you want to type, you won't have a keyboard. Building's a little bit easier in desktop mode, but definitely the experience of seeing stuff is really satisfying in VR. So, right click to drag camera, WASD keys or arrow keys to fly around. And I can use the plus and minus keys to fly faster, or I can use the minus key to move slower. So plus to go faster, minus to go slower. Do you guys remember back in April when I spent the whole stream at like the slowest speed possible, going like, why can't I move the camera faster? So Definitely something I press a lot now of adjusting my speed. Cool. So what are we looking at? I'm going to left click to select plane 1. And that's this great big little square with, it's a great big square with lots of little squares on it. So I can kind of get a sense of the size of it. And it's just an object my avatar can stand on, that objects can be placed on top of. And it's just going to kind of just a default plane for me to look at. And this dongle doodad gizmo thing lets me move it. So the blue is going up and down. So move it up, move it down. Just left clicking and holding to move it up and move it down. Doing side to side with the right, but with the red. Doing side to side with the red. And then doing forward and back with the green. And you can also see I've got these circular curved lines, so I can rotate it with the blue on that axis, I can flip it on that axis with the green, and with the red axis wheel, I can flip it that way. Okay, so we have thoroughly messed up this plane just by clicking and dragging with the less mouse. So maybe we're a little bit confused. How do we set it back to normal? So when I've got an object selected, I've got a bunch of options like duplicating it, deleting it, locking it so I can't move it. I'm going to click Properties and open the Properties window, and that's going to appear here. Now I've got a bunch of other windows on the left side here. I'm going to get to those. Don't worry about that. I just want to handle some basics with moving. So this is the plane 1 object I've got selected here, right? So you can see its name here, same as the name here. And this is now its position after me clicking and dragging the wheels a bunch. So I'm just going to select all of these, hit 0, hit enter. Select all that, 0, enter. And instead of using the mouse this time, I'm going to use Control A. So click Control A, 0, enter. Oops. 0, enter. Enter. And now it's back to its same rotation and position that it was before. Okay. So that was a lot in about 30 seconds. But we've understood that what we are looking at here is a large square flat plane, and how we can move stuff around with the gizmos, and if we get confused, how to open the properties window and put everything back to 0. So I'm going to close this now. I'm going to close this window as well because we don't need to be looking at it. It's a little confusing. This window over here on the left is Scene Objects. So this is everything that's here. So you can see plane 1 is here. That's the one I have selected. So if I select nothing, but then click this, the plane again, you'll see it lights up in Scene Objects. And if I had a really long list, it'll take you immediately to that object. So what's this then? Spawn point. Oh, hello. It's that little green thing that's been here the whole time with the little feet. So this is where your avatar will spawn when anyone, you or anyone else, comes into the scene. They will spawn there. And as much as I've tried, you can't make people spawn upside down. It's unfortunate. I know, right? First thing I tried to do was like, well, can I drop people on their head? No. But I can close that window. I can move it forward and backward and rotate it, if I want them spawning facing a particular thing. Oh, and of course I can move it up and you'll fall a little bit. It's kind of fun. I like doing that. People have noticed that. Most of my experiences, you fall into them. Cool. So what's the third object we have here? It's the light. Where is it? There it is. So I'm going to fly my camera over there. Going to use pluses to go faster. And you'll see it's this kind of unusual light with like 3 terrifying harpoons flying. So this is the directional light. So you can spawn a whole lot of little lights, like individual lamps. But this is like the light for the whole thing. So if I delete this, we no longer have one. And I thought things were going to get really dark, but apparently the skybox is keeping things alive. So it's okay. I can drag one from down here. And so this is our sun, or our moon, if we're doing a moonlight setting. This is a great big light in the sky. And if I go click the properties window again, here the little box, I can change the intensity of how bright the sun is, and I can change its color to make it very red. I can make it kind of orangey if I wanted, make it a bit more of a sunset color, like that. Okay. So that's the directional light, but we don't need to worry about that for the scene. I just wanted to show you the 3 objects here in the scene objects list, because this is everything that's currently in the experience. Okay? So, whole lot of information. Don't worry about any of it. Don't worry about any of it. I just wanted to give you context of what it is you're looking at here. What I want to show you really is how to go to our store, buy something, and then put it in the experience, because then it just makes like a whole lot more sense. It's going to make a whole lot more sense. Mark Photo asking, can you drop people in the sky? What would happen? So if you put the spawn point really high up, they just fall straight down all the way until they land on something, basically. And if there's nothing to land on, then they'll eventually hit the very edge of the experience and then respawn again. So they would just fall forever. And people probably wouldn't like your experience, wouldn't come back to it. Cool. So let me show you getting an object. So where are objects? What? So down here in our inventory is things we have. And by default, you're going to see the system view. So these are like, not defaults, they're like core mechanics, core ideas, like the spawn point. So if I want to, I can select the spawn point here, drag it out, and look, now we have 2 spawn points. What happens if you have more than 1 spawn point? Well, when someone joins the experience, it will randomly select one of the spawn points. So they're either going to appear here or over here facing that way. Other things I've got here in system are lights. So the directional light, as I mentioned, you can only have one on. Look, I'll click and drag. A scene may not contain more than 1 directional light. That's the great big sun, basically. So you can have a sun or not if you want to, but you can't have 2 suns. It gets confusing. And then here we have point lights and spotlights. So we can also decorate our experience with various lights. But I don't want to get into lights too much right now, and I'm going to delete the second spawn point. I want to get something tangible. I want to get something I can understand. So we're going to check out our store. Perfect. Perfect time to come to the store. So on the front page, so this is store.sansar.com, and it's kind of down there. So if I'm looking down there, that's why I am. So over there, down on the store, you can see we'll have collections of stuff you could buy, like things for your avatar to wear, beanbags to put in your experience, beach balls to put in your experience, bikinis to wear to soak up the sun, all that stuff. So I'm just going to go all. So here you can see everything we have in the store currently. And this is just sorting by most recently created. And then over here we have categories. So I'm going to switch to a furnishing category. And then from recently selected, I'm going to switch, sorry, not recently selected. Instead of recently created, we're going to look at low to high, because I'm doing this for the people who are brand new to Sansar. They want to build something, they want to get started. You don't want to spend money. That's fine. We have a bunch of free stuff on the store. So let's find something good. Here we have this Dutch knot chair, which is pretty good. So looks pretty nice. Here are some pictures of it. Here's it from the side. It's got kind of a low sit back, a little bit of wood finish. Very nice. So I'm gonna switch back to Sansar so I can log in. And you don't see me log in because I should have done this already. Typing in my email and my password, but not doing it on stream. At least that's what I think I did. Okay, I did switch. Cool. Going back over. So now that I've logged in, you can see I can click this button to purchase it if I hadn't already purchased this. So I knew this item was here. I already have it. It's pretty nice. So I would click this and I would purchase it. And it would, because it's free, there's no need to make a transaction, so it just would appear in my inventory immediately. So if we switch back to Sansar now, whoops, selecting too many things at once, going to confuse people. So we come back into Sansar. So I've bought something free, done, it's immediate. Do you know what? Let's really make this a demo. Let's get something I haven't got, just to really, really show you. Because this is honestly probably my favorite thing about Sansar, is that if you buy something, it immediately appears in your inventory, just immediately. So we're just going to go low to high on everything. There's things for avatars to wear, so we're going to go, let's go to architecture. And a P51 Mustang, sure. Sure, let's get that. So you can see when it's free, it just says get. I click processing. It's in my inventory. That's it. Done. We switch. Whoops. We switch back into Sansar. Look at my inventory. Okay, we can't see anything. Why? Because we're looking at systems. Systems like its own category that doesn't show things I've imported or purchased. So I'm going to click System. I'm going to go All Sources, and now it's sorted chronologically, and you can see the P51 Mustang is here. So I click it, I drag it, and this little blue cube is going to be where it appears when I let go. So that's just left click and drag, and now I have a P51 Mustang. There we go. That's it. And as before, we've got this gizmo to move it in the different axes. I can move it up, side to side, down, forward and back. I can rotate it. I can tilt it. I can put it up in the sky. We have a P51 Mustang. Ain't that kind of cute? So that's pretty much it. Is dropping it in. It's that simple. And you can see I've got quite a lot of stuff in my inventory. So yeah, that's that's the step one there. So what else can we do with an object now that we have it in Sansar? Well, I didn't mention these yellow cubes. If I click the cube and drag it, that will change the scale. And this is probably the most fun thing to mess around with, is changing the scale. So I can make it bigger, I can make it smaller, I can make it tiny. Look, now it's a little toy plane. So let's make it something we can actually see it. And let's take a look at the properties window again of this object. By the way, you can now see that in our Scene Objects list, the P51 Mustang has been added, and because I've got it selected, it's appearing blue there. Okay, so we're looking at this Mustang here. We have its position, its rotation, and its scale. So I'm going to put it back to 1. And the reason we care about 1 is when a lot of things are created, they are designed around their scale being 1, the default. Which means, you know, if you take a house and you put 2, it'll be twice as big. And you're like, cool, I have a bigger house. But because of that, the stairs are bigger, and your avatar may get confused about walking up the stairs. Things like that. So we're going to keep it at 1 for now. This isn't animated. This isn't something my avatar is going to interact with, so we don't really care about its scale, but scale can kind of confuse some other things. But that's another thing to have fun and mess around with. Excuse me. All right. Are you ready for something a little more complicated? Let's make this object something we can pick up. Okay? Now, let me get you something else as an example. So, I'm going to go to my inventory down here, and I'm currently looking at all sources, all types, and I'm going to search for... Actually, let's not search for a bottle, let's search for cola. A can? What's the file called? Oh, it's called a soda. There we go. Sin soda. Sin's soda can. I'm going to click this, and I'm going to drag it into the scene. And now you can see I've got it selected, the properties window is changed, and the scene objects has changed. Okay, so we have a can. Make it a little bit bigger so I can see it a bit easier. And it's got some more settings than our P51 Mustang. So select this, select Mustang, less options. Select the soda, more options. Okay, what's going on here? Well, this object basically has a physical volume. So what that means is I can go to motion type and I can select one of these options, static or dynamic. So if it's static, it's rigid, right? It's never going to move. It's just a solid object. But if I switch it to dynamic, then it's something that can have density and friction and bounce, and it's something that you can grab. So this is something we can add to this object if we wanted to. But you know what? Maybe that's a little bit advanced. Back to basics. Let's bring it back a little bit. I made some notes. Let's take a look at my notes. Fog. Fog and skybox. Okay. Let's get back to some basics. Getting ahead of myself, I actually just kind of want to show you something I learned recently, and that's maybe not what we want. Okay, so we have an object that we can pick up because it's dynamic, and can grab is on, and we have an object that's static, so it's not going to fall when we build the scene. We have a plane, and we have a spawn point I can't select from over here. What is with all this grayness? What is with all this haze? It's a really hazy day. That's the fog. So I'm going to close the properties window here, and I'm going to come up to our options over here. So you see we've got save, build, and publish. So that's to save my scene, that's to build it and make it exist, and then publish it is to share it on the Atlas so people can find it. Here we have some options, which can let us preview media streams and surface snap, which is a different way to drag and drop stuff. Then we also have visibility for looking at different things. So for instance, I can turn on physics shapes, and you can see everything that's gray is something you can stand on. So this whole plane is something your avatar can stand on. This plane, you can't stand on. You just walk through it. So some things in visibility there. You can also import your own models. So if you actually know what you're doing with like Blender or Maya or ZBrush, you can import a 3D model, and it's going to bring up this window, and you can import any .fbx or .obj, and then you can have your own objects in Sansar, if that's something you can do. But do read our guidelines online for doing that, because there's finagly about how many tries and polygon counts and things I don't understand because I'm not a 3D modeler. So, but read those rules. And you can also input audio if you have some music or some sounds, and you can also import C# scripts if you know that. But I'm going to come to Tools, and I'm going to open the Scene Settings window. Now, Scene Settings is kind of like settings for the whole experience here. So we have the gravity, for one thing. We have the skybox, and we have the fog and the fog color. So this is kind of hazy and difficult for me to see. So I'm going to turn down everything to do with fog down to its lowest value. And now you can see that the view of the world has changed. There's like a less haze going on here. We can see more over here. But it's still like a little bit murky, and that's just kind of the default of this template. So I'm going to go to Skybox. I'm going to go to Skybox. I'm going to pick something a little brighter and a little bit easier to see. So Sansar's going to come with a bunch of defaults like Highlands, Mars, bright clouds, the desert, and the sunrise. Or sunrise and sunset. So I'm going to do Mars, because Mars is pretty cool. And that should take a moment to load. And now we're on Mars. So now this is what you see when you're in the experience. And to show you the fog again, if I turn up these sliders, you'll begin to see that we have this fog that appears at ground level. And this is great for obscuring stuff or creating atmosphere, but it may not necessarily be something you want. So that's something you can play with under fog. I like turning all the way down and putting in a skybox and getting a feel for my scene pretty quickly. Okay? So, all right, we've done that. Let's just throw some more things in the scene, and I'll build it. So, coming back to my inventory, hey, there's only this color. What's going on? Why is that the only thing I can see? So you have to clear your search, delete it, and then hit enter. And now you're seeing everything in your inventory again. And remember, we need to be on all sources to see everything that's not included under system. So let me show you that again. This menu, system just shows me the high level important things. And then if I go to all sources, I get all the things that I've imported or bought on the store. And then if I go across from all sources, you can see I can look at audio for music. Not sure what interactive is. Lights, I don't have any lights. But I can go to objects and find these things. So we can put this skyscraper in. There we go. Skyscraper on Mars. Starting the colony early. What else have I got over here? I've got a broken TV. I've got a cinder block. I've got a manhole cover. I have a fridge. Fridge seems good. Gonna need snacks on Mars. Bit of a broken down fridge, unfortunately, but that's okay. I've got a minion robot. Gonna need to be able to explore the surface of Mars, defend ourselves from Martians. He's really small, so let's grab these cubes, make him a lot bigger. Cool. Now we've got a few stuff to look at. I'm gonna come up here, and I'm gonna click build. And it's gonna prompt me to save before I build it. So another workflow would be to click save, do that first, and then click build. And this time it doesn't prompt me to save first. But if you do click build, it will save your work. Now it's uploading, and I'll give you the option to keep editing or visit now. So I'm going to click visit now to Object1 Learn to Build, the worst file name anyone ever wrote. Actually, no, I've read worse file names. Cool. So you see my avatar fell a little bit because I spawned higher up. And this is my Sansar avatar in his dapper vest and his cybernetic arms. And you can see here, there's the P-51 Mustang, the giant robot, our fridge, and our cola. And because our cola is a dynamic object that you can grab, you'll see it lights up blue when I mouse over it, and I click it and pick it up. Woo! Now then, what's going on here? This guy, he's kind of floating. And so is the fridge. And so is that skyscraper. That whole skyscraper has terrible, terrible foundations. So I'm going to use the shift key and click to teleport over here and double check that. Yeah, that is not touching this floor. Why not? So I'm going to go to my sidebar here. Oh, you can't see that. Hold on one second, guys. This button, edit scene, over here in the right widget. And while it's loaded out, I'm going to put this back. A little bit cropped off, never mind. Okay, so we've got all this stuff, but it's not actually touching the things we want it to be touching. How can we fix that easily? Well, let's clear out some of these windows. I want to confuse you. We're going to go to Options, and we're going to click Surface Snap. Now when I select an object, you'll see it snaps to the nearest surface. See, it did a little jolt down. I'm going to get closer to the fridge so you can see it. I left click to select it, and Surface Snap brings it to the nearest surface it's on. Same with that skyscraper. There we go. I could even do it for this P-51 Mustang, and it dive bombs into the ground. Why did it do that? Well, not every object is like perfectly created, and understanding where the bottom edge of the object doesn't work, so it looks like it's kind of snapped it to the center of the object. So this is a toggleable feature, so I'm going to go back up here to the options. I'm going to turn Surface Snap off, and now you see I get the little gizmo back. So I'm going to bring him back up here, and we'll try and level him out and land him. I'm kind of doing this by eye, which is probably unnecessary, because I could go to Properties, and I could put all these rotation values back to 0, and he will be level again, because that was the default of how he appeared. So there we go. And so I can't surface snap this guy, that's fine. I just got to eyeball it a little bit until it's just touching the plane. Oh, it's a little bit wonky on that back wheel. Gonna have to tilt it. Oh dear. Alright, this might be one example object that it's just slightly impossible to perfectly flatten it out. That's fine. So I'm going to close the Properties window and the Options window, and I'm going to click Build again. I'm going to check it out. Isn't that easy? You just import an object or grab it off the store and you drag and drop from your inventory, and there you go. You're building stuff. You are building stuff. Nad, I'm trying to read your Twitch name. Gnadzeda? Gnadezda. Deza. Is asking, is Gizmo the technical name? I think it is. Pretty sure it is. But so now that I've done surface snap on these objects, I'm going to run over and I'm going to show you that the robot's feet are firmly on the ground. Ooh. Excuse me. And the fridge is also firmly on the ground. One moment. Mute the stream so I can cough. Oh, I totally missed clicking the mute button there. Sorry about that. Professional stream. Grade A quality stream. Okay. Oh my goodness. Someone has found their way into my experience. Snow, you sneaky fellow. Coming in here, crashing my stream. Okay. What should we look at next? Let us go back to edit mode and do something a little more interesting. And I'm actually not going to go back to edit mode. I'm going to go to my... I'm clicking too many things once, I'm sorry. Bringing it back a notch. We're going to go over... Whoops. Why is the hotkey not working? Okay, well, that broke. I'm going to come back to the store. Okay, so you want free stuff on the store. Where can you find good free stuff? Well, I'm going to search this time, and I'm going to search for Sansar Studios. So Sansar, we have our own content production team that does things like the exhibit we did, the Smithsonian, the Art of Burning Man, the Roddenberry Nexus, Star Trek Museum we just launched. That's all the Sansar Studios team, Studiosos team, making that. And what I'm looking for here is not the object or the thumbnail. I'm looking for the creator. So this is a thumbnail, this is the object, this is the store. I'm going to click that, and now I'm in the Sansar Studio store. So basically everything the Studio store uploads is going to be free, right? And it's going to be really good stuff, and it's going to be properly calibrated so that if you do surface snap, it doesn't halfway go through the floor, right? All that kind of stuff, because this is made by our team who are very familiar with Sansar and are very, very good at making stuff. So you can see right here, I have the minion robot that I just put into my scene. And again, you can see it's free, and I've already purchased him. But I can also get things like the red door, which is nice. We've got a bunch of shirts here for our Ready Player One partnership. Again, if I don't want to see things for avatars to wear, I can go to categories, scroll down, and I can find something like environment. And now I'm going to get grass, I'm going to get rocks, I'm going to get moss and things like that. And there's also this private gallery. So this private gallery is like a little house, a little museum room that you can grab for free on the store, drop it into Experience, and now you've got something to build in. So that's what I'm gonna show you how to do. So we are gonna hop into a different create mode experience. So this, remember when I showed you, so I'm on the right sidebar, I'm clicking my experiences. When I go create, we have these different templates. This is the Highlands template, and it's a kind of Scottish Highlands, natural, almost fantasy kind of theme. And we've got different terrain objects here. You can see the scene objects here is a lot more complicated, a lot more stuff. We got all these bits of terrain, we've got all these rocks and trees and little shrubs and all this stuff, all here nicely laid out on this little island that we can start building on. And it's just a little bit more interesting than doing it on a flat plane. And if I look over here, you can see kind of nicely, neatly presented to you like all the objects that are in this scene. So we've got these little stepstones, we've got this cluster of rocks, we've got this little clover patch, we've got these bigger rocks. And if I want, I can just drag these over into my area that I'm building, and I can add, whoops, gotta rotate it. Now you can see I can't see it from the back. That's to optimize save on textures and all that, so it loads quicker. But it looks fine from this side. And yeah, I'm just gonna kind of build a little rock wall here, shove it in. Oops, come on, no, I want the red wheel. There we go. So now I've got an extra rock wall, and I can add stuff from here. Now, because this is here in the scene and the template, it's not in your inventory. So you're either going to need to go to the Sansar Studio store and add it to your inventory, or you're going to be careful not to delete everything because you won't be able to get it back because it's just here, right? So say I don't want to delete something. Say I don't like this rock wall. I left click it, I can click delete, or I can just hit the delete key and it's gone. So how can I use all this stuff without deleting it? Well, if I select it, I can click duplicate, and you'll hear a little ping, and it'll automatically select a copy of that thing. Another way I can do that is I can do Control D, and I'll create another copy. So when I'm using the default templates to make stuff, I like using duplications and leaving this stuff over here, so I'm never gonna lose it in case I delete stuff. So let's check out that gallery by searching it in my inventory. And it's not actually called a gallery. What's it called? I'm going to go back to the store and check out its file name. Its file name is White Room. Oops. So I'm going to search white instead. White Room. There we go. So now I have this private gallery that I showed you on the Sansar store. And yeah, it's kind of snazzy, minimalist kind of art gallery kind of look. A little bit of rocks here coming through the floor. We can maybe raise it a bit higher. But now you're going to see it's a little bit floating. It's fine. That's fine. What do you think? Should we have the rocks in? I feel like having the rocks in would actually look kind of stylish. Let's put this big rock in it. I'm going to drag it over here. Drag that. And I'm going to drag it down. So just most of the wood is visible. And yeah, that's touching the ground. I can kind of eyeball this a little bit. There we go. Let's do a little bit more than that. Got some rocks and stuff. And I can select the tips of these bushes, delete them, clear that out. Cool. So now I've got a stylish rock garden in the back of the house that I'm making. Let's add some objects and light it up a little bit in here because it's a little bit dark with these walls. So I'm going to clear my search by deleting the entry and type in enter. I'm going to check why I'm being pinged on Slack. Just being invited to a channel. Okay, that's fine. How are you guys doing in Twitch chat? Doing good. Good. Cool. So let's search for a bed. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff on the store. Whoops, that spawned where I was looking. There we go. So I'm going to add a bed. As I said, I already got a bunch of stuff in my inventory, so I can just kind of search stuff. But you could search it on the store and get it that way. So let's add a sofa. I'm going to add the patio sofa. Now I know this object is a Sansar one, so I can tell you that this one is for free. And I'm going to use the options surface snap. Click. Now it's actually on the floor. And I'm going to do that with this bed too. There we go. Cool. So we've got a sofa. Let's get a TV. I'm going to drag it out here. That's a bit small. So I'm going to make it a hell of a lot bigger. Actually, I'm just going to go to properties. I'm going to turn it all the way up to 10. And that's as big as we can scale it up. And we're going to move this giant TV over here. And up. And oops. Sometimes you've got to get the right angle so the gizmo doesn't get confused. And now we have a giant wall-mounted TV. And you see oops. You can see it's got the giant 3 on it. That's because this will play Twitch, YouTube, Vimeo, Vimeo. How do you say it? I'm not even sure. Whatever kind of URL for a media surface I want. So I can have a website, I can have video stream, whatever URL stuff I can basically embed on here. The free is just like the default. But I don't want to get into doing media streams just yet. But I can show you where to find it. So we're going to go to Tools, we're going to go to Scene Settings, we're going to scroll all the way down to the bottom, and you can see I can have the sound be something from my inventory, or it can be a stream. And then down here I can put, for music, I can put in an audio stream, and then for the media surface I can put in a different stream. So I should, I believe, be able to put in let's see, do we want to get... Alright, let's just do it. I'll show you how to do... See if I can remember how to do Twitch embed. It is... Okay, this is what we're going to do. Sansar Media Surface. We're going to search that on Google. And we are going to go to one of our help pages. I'm going to switch us over there. And that's not the one I wanted. I don't want creating, I want using and previewing media streams. This is going to tell me the right kind of URL format. So, for instance, I can take this YouTube one, I can copy it, I go back into Sansar, paste the media stream name in there, and I'm going to replace video ID with a YouTube video. So, I'm just going to go to YouTube. What kind of music you guys like? We're going to do some Blue Sky, Black Death, because it's just easy, because I know it. Oops. I'm going to ignore the ads. And then, if you come back with me into YouTube, I've got a video, and I've clicked share, brings this up. This is the video ID. You can see it's also up here in the URL. So I'm going to copy that and put that into Sansar, and where it says video ID in this URL, we're instead going to put in some music. Yeah. Ta-da. And now that TV will play that music video, and then it will play the audio from it as well. So I can go up here. I can go audio media preview under options, and I may have put in the URL wrong. I was doing this kind of quickly. What did I do wrong? What did I do? Let's take this secondary reference up at the end. And I got the HTTP. Okay. Let's try again. Okay. Well, like I said, I don't want to get into that because sometimes it can be tricky getting the URL done. So let us find that spawn point. So I'm going to scroll through here. This is sorted alphabetically. I'm going to find spawn point 0. Where are you, my friend? It's no good if you can't spawn inside my little house. There we go. So we're going to spawn in a little house. And because we couldn't get the TV to work, because I didn't do my prep work for that. Happens if I type art. Do I have something that's just art? Let's just have an art to look at. I think I have a giant hand statue. Yeah. This is going to be a classy minimalist household. There's no TV in this household. There's just a Zen garden and a giant hand statue that we're going to change the scale of. Boom. And we click build. I'm going to save and continue. And now we have some stuff in Sansar. That was quite a lot to cover, wasn't it? We're going to do a little recap just as soon as I show you how we can walk around the scene. And then I hope you'll feel ready to start building stuff in Sansar. Where's Twitch chat? Oh, thank you. Someone pointed out. I can see it right there. This is my mistake. Thank you, Twitch chat. Thank you. Media stream name is where I put the URL. Not under media stream URL. So let's get a TV. And we'll just have a small TV. We'll put it in the hand. There we go. And we'll tilt that a little bit. So it's like in the hand. Yeah, kind of clutch there. And now if I go to options, audio stream preview, it'll kind of turn white for a bit, and then it will start playing Blue Skies Black Death Noir album. And I can turn that preview off. Okay, let's build the scene again. Thank you so much for pointing that out. Can you TP in and out of that house with no door? So I cannot teleport through physical objects. The window is not physical, so I could get out in this scenario. But this is a enclosed museum. There's no door opening. So I would have to be very selective with my teleporting. Like I could put some stairs. I'll show you that now. So let's jump in to this Highlands build. And so we're spawning here. I can hit F3 to switch between first and third person. Obviously I could also be experiencing this in VR, but I'm not going to. And so we've got my YouTube video playing up here on my TV, playing Noir by Blue Sky Black Death. We've got my hand statue, and I'm here in my little house. And I've got my sofa, and I've got my bed. And talking about teleporting, so if I hold the shift key to move around, you see this little blue arrow shows me where I'm going to teleport to, but when it tries to go through a wall, it kind of turns into a red line and it disappears. But I might be able to teleport out the window. See, I got a blue line, so we're going to click, and now I'm outside. And I can get out that way. But you can put some steps, some stair module objects up to that opening. You can put a door there. You can put in some actual glass. And yeah, this is now my world. Again, I could change the skybox, I could change the fog, I can change the gravity, I can duplicate these trees and drag them all around. And you may notice that no matter where I'm going, I can hear the media stream. That's something else we can change, is where sound is coming from. But I think I'll get into showing sound and light next week, on where you can have, you know, sound coming from a speaker instead of everywhere where you run, and putting in your own lights, so you're not relying on the one directional light to light everything. You can light the interior of something, you can change the colors, and we'll look into that next week. So let's go back to my experiences tab. We're gonna go back to our little first object, and one thing I just want to close out showing you guys is how to actually put money in your Sansar account so you can buy stuff if that's what you want to do. So I would show you how to import, but I'm on a different computer, so I don't have my files. So here we are back in our default experience, just to be here, and we're gonna switch. Ooh, great question from Mark Photo. Can you make a teleport script so that you walk up to a door and it teleports you somewhere? Yes, yes you can. There's a default template for that. So I might just showcase some stuff at the end of the stream, because I can show you a bunch of stuff in my own experiences that do that. So, but first, let me just show you this. I'm going to move my webcam over to the other corner, and you can see it's slightly cut off. Bonk. There's my profile and my icon over here, and how much Sansar dollars I have. So if I click on that, it will take me right to buying Sansar dollars in various bundles. So it's 99 cents for 80 Sansar dollars, or about $5 for 400. And if you want a custom amount or more up-to-date prices for the Sansar dollars, you can go to the Visit Sandex. And this is a little more complicated. This show information about the current exchange rate between dollars and Sansar dollars, and you can buy them for the amount. So if I wanted 100 Sansar dollars, it would give me an estimated price of how much that'd cost, and I can make that order that way. But personally, I kind of prefer the bundles. It's a lot simpler to me. Just be like, yeah, this is what I'm paying, this is how much I'm getting. Great. Terrific. And then you'll see if you go to our store, see a lot of items range between, you know, very small amounts. Most things are about 100 Sansar dollars, maybe 200, sometimes up to 300. But there's definitely also plenty of free stuff, and if you know how to make custom models and import them, you can do that as well. I should have dragged my camera while saying that. Should have taken it easy. So let's do one more thing. Let's show you how to teleport as per Mark Photo's question. So I'm going back into edit mode, and I'm going to search my objects for door, because I have the Sansar red door that I showed you in the Sansar store, and this is free. So I'm going to put that there, and I'm going to close scene settings and instead open the properties, and because that's going to be relevant when I show you how to add a script. So instead of objects or textures, I'm going to go scripts, and I'm going to search scripts for teleport, and you see we have simple teleport, teleport remote, and local teleport will all be in your inventory. So if I click and drag this script onto the object, you'll see it now appears in its properties tab, and this is teleport local, so it will teleport me to these coordinates when I walk into the door. So for instance, if I put this as 0, 0, 0, that'll teleport me to the very center of the experience. So let's build, and I can show you that. I really hope this isn't too overwhelming. I feel like I've covered more than I intended to in this stream. I'll make some more robust notes for next time. I had a general idea of what I was doing, and then I kind of covered most of it about the first 10 minutes. Okay. So here's my door. If I walk into it, it'll teleport me to 0, 0, 0, which is it's apparently exactly where the door was, so now I'm stuck. It's okay, we can go to edit mode to get out of that. Let's move that away. Whoops, I didn't move the door, I moved the plane. Move that over here. Rotate you that way. Cool. So, now that I've got a script on an object, you'll see this is a drop-down menu, and I can click and I can actually just scroll through all of my different scripts. This is getting a little bit advanced, but I can also do teleport remote, which allow me to teleport to another experience. So I'm going to do Eliot's treehouse, and the user for that is Eliot Sansar. So that's my username, that's my experience. I click build, and this time when I walk into the door, it's going to teleport me to a whole other experience, and I can show you some of the things I've been working on there in my own little treehouse. So we're here on the loading screen, and I've got a door, and I'm going to walk through it, and it's going to teleport me to my treehouse, made by me. Where it all began with my stream back in April was me trying to build my own treehouse. So we're coming in now, and here we are. This is my treehouse. I bought the house. Basically everything here I bought at the store. I don't know how to make stuff, to model stuff. So we have this animated airship I bought, flying past. We have the spaceship. We have this floating spear. We have this house. I can run into the house. I can pick up this beach ball and throw it around. I made this light switch to change the color of the lights. All these are little individual lights. Got my robot bartender here. Got some decorations on the wall. Oh hey, I'm gonna get a drink. Gonna click my button. Again, these scripts, I don't know how to make scripts. I bought these are the simple scripts that came with Sansar. I was demoing them last week. I can come in here, I can pick up a soda, run around my house. Got some robots, keeping an eye on things down there. Got another robot up here. I'm gonna get rid of that can now. Got my bed. Got my Jenga set. No, here. Let me smash the Jenga set. There we go. This is not actually as as easy as I thought it was gonna be. Man, this is a hard Jenga tower to topple over. Got this button that resets the Jenga tower. Again, all stuff I got off the store or was already in my inventory. It's just a matter of learning it. Got some sick beats, some nice music. Got my little fireplace out here in my garden. So yeah, that is building stuff in Sansar. So let's do a quick recap. Right back from the top. I'm gonna go to the atlas. I'm gonna click create. I'm gonna create an experience. I'm gonna give it a name. I assume there's already someone called Hello World. And I'm going to choose a template, such as the base template. I'm going to click create. It's going to appear in my list. I'm going to click edit scene. It's going to take me here. I can use the arrow keys or the WSD keys to fly around, plus and minus to move faster and slower. This green thing here is the spawn point. This here is the starting floor. This inventory window, whoops, gotta clear, delete, enter. Shows me everything I have. Everything in my inventory automatically, or stuff I've bought. This window here shows me everything that's in the experience. And then this properties window tells me more about their size, their position, their rotation. And I can grab this gizmo to move stuff around. And then it's just a matter of importing things, either 3D models, if you know how to make them, or it's a simple matter of buying stuff off the Sansar store, either clicking an object and buying it if it's free, or adding Sansar dollars to your balance and using that currency to buy things to put in your experience. And there's a lot of really amazing stuff that our creators have made, and if you join our Discord, be happy to recommend you anything that's on the store. I think is a great model, great price, and also just happy to teach you guys how to build. So next week we're going to try and focus. We'll do a quick recap, probably. Felt like we covered a lot today. Do a quick recap, and we will also look at lights and sound, and we'll probably go into more detail on media streams as well. And we'll probably do that using the watchroom template. So go ahead and take a look at that, and come with your questions about the watchroom template for next week. All right. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Ta-ta for now.